Walk behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may. Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye.
Well, we stopped in Meade, Kansas last night. Very quiet night, pleasant. But we are out just taking a walk, trying to get used to mornings on a leash. It's a little cold, got some frost on the van. I had the heater on last night, so we just stayed nice and warm. But we're gonna take a walk and then come back and make some tea and get back on the road. I hear a woodpecker. I don't see it. Look, take a picture. Good. Hazel, look, take a picture. Okay, off. Back. Wait. Good. Well, we made it back to Lubbock just a few minutes ago, and we're at my my mail place. Just picked up my mail. Jaffe has a vet appointment in about 45 minutes, so I think I may run down to my storage unit. I have a couple of things that I want to put in there, and by the time I'm finished doing that, it'll probably be time for Jaffe's vet appointment. So the real challenge begins really because we're gonna be living in the city in the van, which is not ideal and not really what I had intended, but as long as I have work here, that's what we're gonna have to do from time to time. So I have a meeting about a contract job that I've already been hired for. It's not until May, but I have a meeting about it tomorrow morning. So we're here for that, and then we're just gonna stay here because there's no use wasting gas driving all over the place when I have the Lubbock Arts Festival in April, and then my contract job is the first week of May. So there's not really any point in wasting gas between now and then. So we'll be here roughly the next month. And then after that, probably, but not positive heading out to Colorado. We'll probably head towards the high mountains for the rest of the summer, or for as much of the summer as I can in between art festivals. For now though, I'm focusing on where we're gonna stay while I have to be in Lubbock. I don't actually know yet. Tonight I have to be here in Lubbock because my meeting is in the morning and I need to go to Planet Fitness and take a shower and run and stuff, and then take a shower. I really wanted to get back into running anyway, so the whole Planet Fitness thing works really well. I'll hopefully get more into a running routine, which should help with my asthma, and that'll enable me to take a shower as well. So that's the plan. Right, Hazel? Is that your plan too? Is that the plan? That's the plan. The dogs did really well on the drive. Jaffe got sick yesterday, and he got sick driving from Lubbock to Missouri a few weeks ago too. I think it's just that this van really kind of rides like a boat in water. It's, you know, the weight and everything, it just sort of like floats along, and then when I hit a bump, it's like hitting a big wave. And Jaffe, I think, struggles with that a little bit, but I think he'll get used to it, because when I first rescued Jaffe, he actually got sick in the Subaru too on the long drive to Lubbock. So I'm not really worried about it. I think he'll get used to it. I'm pretty sure he'll get used to it. Hazel seems to be fine with it. I'm actually meeting up with another van dweller that I actually met on YouTube who lives near Lubbock. And so I'm actually giving her the blue carpeted curtains that I took off. So I'm meeting up with her later this evening. I'm gonna go to a coffee shop and work a little bit on the laptop and meet up with her to give her my curtains. So that's kind of cool. I'm really looking forward to meeting her. Anyway, I gotta get off here and get to my storage unit. So we'll catch you later. You guys are the best babies.
Be aggressive, and you might be found liable for using voice clones.
Well, good morning from the Cracker Barrel parking lot. This actually was not a bad stay. It was nice and quiet. Only woke up a couple of times with loud cars, I guess, racing down the Marcia Sharp. But yeah, there's railroad tracks behind us and a nice strip of grass that the dogs walked this morning to potty and stretch our legs. And now we're just warming up the van, listening to the news, and checking some email before I head to Planet Fitness to take a short run and a shower, and then I have a work meeting this morning after that. So right now it just still feels a little bit awkward, mostly getting the dogs out to potty on leash, because they're used to being able to just run out the van and run, you know, with their e-collars on, but off leash. And so getting them used to waiting, you know, I'm working on training them to not dart out the door when I open it, which shouldn't take too long because we did that at home. It's a process and we have to learn it, and so we'll get there eventually. But overall, not bad. There were probably 4 or 5 other vans here, one RV last night, but it's gone this morning. But yeah, it's a pretty popular place and I love it. Thank you, Cracker Barrel, for allowing people to do this because it really helps. Anyway, on to Planet Fitness. Well, we're at a park and we're walking, getting some exercise. It's nice and cool, so it's a good time to do it. So I'm waiting on a friend to go meet her at a coffee shop, and I was playing around with organization, and I've discovered that 3 of my Dometic water cans fit side by side under my bed right there. So that might help. And then what was down there in front of that storage box that's pushed all the way to the back right now was my camera bag and my electronics / cable bag. And I can move those on top of the bed all the way to the back door, because there's like a toolbox in the back with a separate little mattress that goes over that, and we don't sleep on that, so I could lay my camera bag on that and it would be out of the way. So I think that's what I'm going to do for now. On another note, I am pretty sure that I'm going to look for a different toilet, because I'm not very happy with the Dometic that came with the van. It just doesn't flush very well, and it's kind of disgusting to have to mess with, and it's also disgusting to have to empty it and all of that. So I think I'm going to look into a different toilet. I'll keep you all posted about what I find, but I'm honestly leaning more towards using a bag. There's a company that makes a toilet that looks very similar to the Dometic cassette toilet, and you can actually use it as a cassette toilet if you want, but it also has a bag option, so you can put the little dissolving packets in the bag and then put it in the toilet. The toilet still has a nice seat and a lid. It contains the odor and all of that. But I just think that would be so much easier than having to deal with this cassette toilet that doesn't always flush. Straight. Straight. My sausages. It's my sausages. Nope. My sausages. Hot. It's hot. Back, Hazel. It's hot. Get back. Good girl. Well, good morning, everybody. I've just had some sausage and made my tea, and I'm sitting here planning to work on videos and write on the blogs this morning. So we found a nice RV park in the city of Loveland that actually a subscriber to my channel recommended. And so it's nice for West Texas. I'm actually pretty happy with it. We pulled in yesterday about 7 o'clock. 6 or 7 o'clock, I think. And there were 3 RVs and 3 vans here. And there are, looks like there are like 6 or 7 spots with electric and water hookups. And then there's actually quite a bit of space for maybe vans or campers that don't need electric and water. So it's pretty nice. There's lots of grass here, so the dogs have a nice place to walk around. I think we'll just be here for the 3 free nights, and it is 3 free nights per month. So I guess technically next week is a new month, but yeah, it's like 30 miles outside of Lubbock, so if I have work in Lubbock, it's kind of a ways to drive, which I kind of chuckle saying that because I grew up in a really rural area where I drove 30 miles minimum to work every day. 30 miles now that I've lived in a city for a while seems like such a long drive, and it's funny. Anyway, this is a nice spot because it has some trees, so there's some shade to walk around, and not a lot, but for West Texas, any trees at all is pretty great. But yeah, so woke up this morning, walked the dogs, and made myself some tea and then some sausage. I haven't really found my groove quite yet, and the longer we're in the van, then the easier that's going to come. But like there has to be a process for everything. Living in a small space with two big dogs, there just has to be a process for everything. So, when we're in a place where the dogs can't just go out of the van off leash to potty and play and run around, there has to be a process for leashing them up and letting them out, because they get really excited, and in order for things to go smoothly, they need to have a process and expectations. Like they have to know what we're doing, and so we're in that mode right now, is just teaching them, learning a new process and teaching that to them and doing it the same way every time, so that they understand what's going to happen and what they need to do, what's expected of them every time that happens. For example, they get really excited first thing in the morning, and so we've been working on staying calm first thing in the morning until we get outside of the van. And so we're getting a lot better at that. But then, now that we're in a city and I can't just open the van door and let them out off leash, we're working on a process for leashing them and letting them out of the van, just so everything goes smoothly. I do have two doors behind me to exit the van and enter the van, but I've been only using the one that has the door handle because there's a cabinet here in front of the other one, and I have my portable air conditioner on top of that cabinet, so that kind of blocks this door. It doesn't really allow more enter and exit space through the door even when it's open, so I've just been leaving it shut and it works pretty well. But when you can't use the double doors, when you're only using one door to get in and out, both dogs try to go in and out at the same time, and so I'm working on training them to enter and exit the van one at a time. So just little things like that you wouldn't think about every day. Those are things that we have to think about in the van and just learn a process and do that, repeat that process over and over, so the dogs get really comfortable with it and come to know exactly what to expect. So that's the key, and we're working on all of that, and things will get easier when that is set and we're in that groove. I think I mentioned earlier, I'm not happy with the cassette toilet. So I think I'm going to go back to the simple bag system toilets. I can't remember what it's called, but you can get these packets of things that you put in the bag that dissolves everything and controls the odor. So it's not that disgusting, but it also breaks it down to a point that you can throw it in a dumpster. That's the kind of system I used when we were tent camping with the big Napier 84,000. I guess my issues with this Dometic cassette toilet, the flush is not strong enough to push things down into the waste tank. And so it's really gross, and I just don't want to mess with it. And emptying it is also kind of a chore. I'm going to actually try it for the first time here at this RV park because they do have a dump station. And I actually have watched other YouTube videos about how to dump a cassette toilet into the dump station at RV parks without a hose. And so I'm going to try that while I'm here before we leave, preferably when no one else is around to watch me trying to figure it all out. But Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Also, you know, that toilet came with the van, and so when I got it, it actually was cracked. The toilet bowl was cracked, and so it also doesn't pressurize the way it should. When you flush, you're supposed to pump it several times, like 15 times or something, to pressurize the flush water tank. And because there's a crack in the toilet bowl, it doesn't pressurize as much as it should. So that might be why it's not flushing hard enough to push things down into the waste tank. I don't know. I don't really know anything about these cassette toilets. I've never used them before. I know they're very popular in the RV and van life culture and all that, but I've never used one. I've always just used the bag system, and I think I'm going to go back to that. When I was with my parents, we went to Walmart, and Walmart had this, it's an expandable strainer that sits in the sink, across the sink. But it was small enough that I thought it would fit in my sink here in the van, and it does. So I bought that. It was on sale for like $3, crazy cheap. And so I went ahead and bought it, hoping that it would fit and work as actually a dish strainer when I wash dishes and stuff, and I can set dishes in there to dry. And I can also use it as a strainer if I need to. We got a really cool custom spare tire cover that has the Love Dogs logo on it, but since I put that hitch mounted cargo box on there, you can't see it. You can only see like the very top part of it. So I don't know. I only paid like $30 for it, so you get what you pay for. So it's kind of pixelated, and I'm not sure what happened when they enlarged it, but the text isn't even where it's supposed to be in the image. Like, I don't know how they enlarged the image to where the image itself actually deconstructed as they enlarged it, because the text is not where it's supposed to be. But anyway, it's cute and it was cheap. Again, you get what you pay for, and yeah, it'll work for now. But when that one gets all sun dried and starts to crack and get worn out, then I'll probably just buy another one from somewhere else and see if it's better quality. Since I'm here at this RV park for the next 3 nights, I'm really going to try to take this time not only to work on my blogs, writing on my blogs, and catching up on my Patreon site for my patrons, and video and stuff like that, but I'm also going to really try to figure out what the best place for some things is. The dog's water bowl is down here, and I deliberately bought a very large water bowl because they're messy when they drink, and I didn't want water dumping out of the bowl, especially when I'm driving. I didn't want it sloshing around. Like, I don't fill it full, but I still just wanted a big, tall-sided bowl to try to keep mess to a minimum. It doesn't really work to do that, though, because Hazel is a sloppy drinker. Like, she will take a drink and then immediately fling it across everything. And so things still get wet. But I'm trying to figure out a better place for their water. And because I've got my Blue Eddy power bank here, and like the last thing I want is water to be splashed all over that. But yeah, there's some things here that need to find a home that's a little more out of the way. So I'm going to work on that. Also, I'm the type of person who can't find anything unless I put it in the same place every time. And so some of this stuff, like the last 2 days, I think I've misplaced my keys like 4 times. And so finally I decided I'm going to clip my van keys to this cupboard cabinet handle every time, and that's where my keys go. So I have to do things like that just so that I remember where things are and I don't lose them or misplace them. But yeah, that's just the way my mind works. I have to have a specific place for everything, and that thing has to go in that place every single time, or I can't find it. So I'm gonna work to get the van a little more organized in these 3 days that we're here. My plants look pretty good so far. My philodendron looks great, and the cactus looks okay too. It looks pretty happy actually, so that's cool. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just gonna hang out here for the next 3 nights and try to organize things and sort of smooth out our processes for how we do things in the van, in the space, particularly with the dogs. I think things will get easier when we are not restricted to the city. I'm not
really super stoked about the whole stealth city van life thing. I'm not interested in that at all. I am more interested in going out into wild places and being on BLM land and things like that.
Anyway, I hope you're having a good week and that you have a good weekend, and we will see you on the next one. As always, thanks for watching and following along on our journey.